Welcome to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the #1 podcast and resource for Black entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful, sustainable businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the worldwide Black community by building and supporting Black-owned businesses. If you're currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, you're invited to join us each and every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family and get ready to elevate your entrepreneur IQ. Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 610. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another outstanding and informative show in store for you. Today we're going to be doing a rebroadcast of one of our most downloaded and impactful episodes from January of 2025, titled Unlocking Profits by Pivoting to Clients Who Value Time Over Money. Now, let's get ready for today's show content. Today's show topic is Unlocking Profits by Pivoting to Clients Who Value Time Over Money. Unlocking profits by pivoting to clients who value time over money. Now, what if the key to skyrocketing your revenue lies in a simple yet powerful pivot? The secret is targeting clients who value their time more than their money. And on today's show, I'm going to show you how to shift your target market to attract high value clients who are ready to pay for solutions that save them time. Now, before we get to today's broadcast, let me just share a few things with the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint family. First and foremost, I want to welcome all first-time listeners to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family. Please stick around until the end of today's broadcast, and I'm going to share all my social media contact information and resource links, such as the link to my latest email online course titled 5dayleadgen.com. That's the number 5 DAYLEADGEN.com, 5dayleadgen.com. So if you are in business and you are not hitting maximum numbers, or you're about to go out of business, or you want to scale your business, you need a lead generation system. Go to 5dayleadgen.com for more information. Also, don't forget to utilize the website, guys, blackentrepreneurBlueprint.com. We have all types of resources that are free to help you elevate your entrepreneur IQ. Go to blackentrepreneurBlueprint.com, hit the Learn tab, and in that drop down, you'll see topics such as scaling your business, marketing, strategy and mindset, e-commerce, everything designed to help you take you from point A to point B. Also, to all you first-time listeners, or if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We drop a new episode every Monday morning, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, on all your major podcast platforms and YouTube. So make sure you hit that subscribe button wherever you're watching or listening to this, so you'll be alerted when the episodes come out. And the last thing I want to do real quick before we jump into today's content is just talk about 2025. Now, today's show is the first episode of 2025. Now, if you followed the show for any period of time over these 10 years, I always try to give you the most impactful content that you can get to move you from point A to B. And in 2025, I'm doubling down. I have a couple of things that I'm going to be rolling out that are going to be able to help you elevate your entrepreneur IQ and give you more content and actually more actionable steps to move you from point A to point B. Now, I know there's a lot of competition out there in the entrepreneurial market in terms of resources and things of that nature, and that is great. One of the things for any of you first-time listeners, I don't do BS, right? So I talk about my experiences, my highs, my lows, the things that I've done, the things that I'm doing. So when I talk, you know, people always use the term guru, right? I'm not a guru, I'm a duru, because everything that I talk about are things that I have done or am doing. So there's a difference between knowledge and know-how. And for all you long-time listeners, you guys know Knowledge is something that you can acquire anywhere. I can watch a TV show, a documentary. I can read a book. I can watch somebody fix a car. But know-how is knowing how to do it. And that's what I want to give you guys on this show is know-how. So if Jay Jones reads a manual of the F-16 fighter jet and it tells you how to fly that plane, guess what? I have that knowledge. I've got the knowledge of what I need to do to fly the plane. But if they put me in that cockpit and said, hey, Jay, do you know how to fly that plane? My answer would be no. Know-how comes from doing. And that's what Black Entrepreneur Blueprint and the whole ecosystem is about. It's about solid, actionable steps to move you from point A to point B. It's not fluff. It's not BS. We don't have people on here telling you all kinds of nonsense. And I'm definitely not telling you any type of nonsense because I tell you guys, I share my wins and my losses. I've almost lost it all twice. I've been blessed to come back and be able to build 2 multi-million-dollar businesses subsequent to almost losing it all twice. Home, cars, everything. Looking at the ceiling, wondering how I'm going to pay the electric bill. Come home from my office one day. This happened more than once. Got the foreclosure notice sitting on the door back in 2008 when I owned my mortgage business and there was a financial crisis. So I've seen the gamut, guys, the highs, the lows, the everything. So if you're looking for solid, no BS entrepreneurial advice and entrepreneurial steps, this is the podcast for you. And if you like this content, please share it with everybody in your network, because we're trying to get this good word out there. And I just want to let you know I'm super committed in 2025 to giving you even more than I have been for these past 10 years. All right. Just wanted to say that. Looking forward to having you for the ride in 2025 and beyond. And let's get ready with today's show content. Today's show topic again, guys, is unlocking profits by pivoting to clients who value time over money. Unlocking profits by pivoting to clients who value time over money. And today, guys, I'm going to show you how to shift your target market to attract high value clients who are ready to pay for solutions that save them time. All right. I'm going to give you a couple of actionable steps. And really what we're going to talk about, guys, is the time versus money value proposition. The time versus money value proposition. And the question I want to start off with is, are you spending all your energy chasing clients who value money over time? Are you spending all your energy and resources chasing clients who value money over time? Now, being a serial entrepreneur for 25 plus years and a business coach for over 20 years, trust me, I've pretty much seen it all. And if I asked myself that question, I had to raise my hand, because at one time I was spending all my energy and resources chasing clients who value money over time. So in my mortgage business, I do all types of clients, but I specialize in 3 specific verticals. First-time home buyers, because I want to help people start, building a legacy by buying their first home. I also work with athletes, entertainers, and entrepreneurs, because that's a little different. And my other vertical is investors. So I work with investors. But one of the things is I had to realize early on in all of my businesses, where do I dedicate my time? Where is it most important? And where am I spending my time that I'm wasting time and spinning my wheels? And I'm going to give you guys some real life examples as we continue into today's show. Question is, are you spending all your energy and resources chasing clients who value money over time? Now, the struggles of working with price sensitive clients versus high value or time conscious clients it's like night and day. Okay, because if you have the money, you recognize how important your time is. If you don't have the money, you're going to have to substitute money to spend time. So here's a real life example. So if you want to build your own website, right? If you have money, guess what you're going to do? You're going to hire a web designer to build out the exact type site that you want with all the bells and whistles that you need. If you don't have money, guess what you're going to do? And I've done this when I first started. You're going to try to build your own website. It may be janky. My first blackentrepreneurblueprint.com website was janky. I didn't even realize what this product was going to be because I had just started it. But the thing is, I didn't have the resources at the time to really spend the money to build out a robust e-com website like I have now. So what did I do? I had more time than money. So I said, guess what? I'm going to take my time, learn how to build a website, which I thought was good. And guess what? The website was garbage. But I didn't have the resources at that time to allocate to it. So people that have the resources, and I say this to my kids all the time, I pay for convenience. If I got it and I don't feel like doing something, I pay for convenience. It's even as simple, and we can break it down to even a lower example of washing your car, right? Everybody knows how to wash a car. But do you wash it yourself or do you take it to the car wash? What's more important, spending $20 to take it to a car wash or spending an hour and a half washing and detailing your car? It's the convenience, the time versus money value proposition. And once you understand that and know how to leverage that, you can pivot your business and be super profitable with less clients. I'm going to tell you something too, guys. The difference between high-end clients, and I'm not saying in terms of necessarily mentality, but in terms of dollar-wise, right? If you're trying to be the lowest guy on the block in terms of prices, guess what? You're never going to win. It's a race to the bottom, right? You're not going to be able to be the lowest and be profitable. So you have to have value, okay? So if there's no value there to your customers or they don't appreciate what you're selling, then guess what? You're going to be spinning your wheels. And all that in terms of your perception, that's based on you and how you present yourself and your product or your service. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But the question is, are you spending all your energy chasing clients who value money over time? We know what it's like as an entrepreneur when we deal with problem clients. The problem is many times we deal with those type of clients because we don't have enough of the clients that we really want. Another real life example is one of my good friends who I hired as a loan officer years ago. I kept telling him, I said, this is a volume business, bro. You get 10 loans in the pipeline. If you close 4 of them, you're good. 6 of them, 3 of them are going to drop out because of credit or something like that. The other 3 are just going to drop out, and you may close 4 out of 10. So I said, you have to have a consistent pipeline of leads coming in. And so when he didn't follow the system, we used to joke around and be like, yo, man, you're carrying those 3 files around the office like they're your babies. I said, you got to get more files in the pipeline, bro. And sure enough, he never did. And he was working with people that we told him there's a special target market that we're really good at. And I said, you need to follow this. But he was working with people or anybody because he didn't have enough qualified leads. OK, let's talk about the time versus money value proposition. And example, affluent clients, for example, pay for results and convenience. For example, meal delivery service, personal assistance. So if you're super busy and you know your time is worth more than the money that you're outlaying, guess what? You're going to spend that money, right? Because the money isn't as important as the time it saves you. And we really need to take account of how much our time is really worth as entrepreneurs. We'll find ourselves doing all types of, menial tasks or jobs that really aren't moving the needle. And these are things that we can outsource or do at a later time or date. So you have to understand that there's a difference between clients who value their time versus those who value money. And unfortunately, well, it's not unfortunately, but most times the people that value the money more so are the ones that don't have it. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. Been there, done that. All right. And trust me, I gave you the example of the website. But what you want to do is you want to be able to pivot and unlock your profits by pivoting to clients that value time over money. Now, how do you pivot your target market? Let's talk about that real quick. Step number one, you have to understand your ideal client profile. What is your ideal client profile? Are they affluent, time conscious, results driven? Okay, if you are a CPA, you can do taxes for somebody that works a 9 to 5, which is fine, and I'm not knocking that. Or you can do the taxes for a professional athlete or entertainer that are more complicated, but guess what? They have the money to pay you. They want the convenience of a CPA doing their taxes, a CPA that they know is good. They don't mind paying $10,000 or $20,000 for their business taxes. They have the money, and guess what? They rather have somebody that knows what they're doing, a professional, as opposed to trying to do their taxes themselves. Okay? Step number two, refine your messaging to emphasize convenience and expertise. Refine your message to emphasize convenience and expertise. And before I give you an example of that, let me just let you guys know that you need to be able to message. You have the same product or service, but the way you message each vertical is totally different. Let me just give you an example real quick, and I've used this before. So if I sell insoles, and this is actually a real life example, my daughters, when they were at middle school and high school, played field hockey, and my youngest daughter used to have insoles because of her feet, and they were super expensive. Anyway, if I sold insoles and I sold them to field hockey players, I sold them to waiters or waitresses, and I sold them to marathon runners, same product, right? So the dialogue that I had with field hockey players is going to be totally different than somebody that's a waiter or waitress that's on their feet all day versus somebody, once again, that's a long distance runner or a competitive runner. Same product, but conversation totally different. Field hockey player, hey, if you want to be able to get to the ball and score more goals, help your team win, use the J. Jones insoles. If you're a waiter or waitress, hey, you want to make more tips, tired of your feet hurting, have a smile on your face, get more tips because your feet feel great, use the J. Jones insoles. If you are a long distance runner or whatever, any type of runner, hey, you want to beat your last time, enjoy yourself while you're running again, if so your feet don't hurt, use the J. Jones insoles. Conversations are totally different. So when we talk about step number two, refining your message to emphasize convenience and expertise, an example would be save 10 hours a week instead of affordable pricing. So if you're trying to target somebody that's more in tune with saving 10 hours a week as opposed to somebody that's trying to save money. So your dialogue, refine your messaging, and we're talking about how to pivot to your target market. Number two, refine your messaging to emphasize convenience and expertise. Okay. Step number three, elevate your branding and marketing. High quality visuals, testimonials, and polished content. All right. You want to have everything in alignment. So I've used this example before on the show numerous times. If you're going to buy headphones and you go buy Beats, they come in a nice packaging. It's a great box, great packaging. You open it up and it's a high-end package for a perceived high-end product. You can also go to Walmart and buy earbuds that are in a clamshell, plastic clamshell, right? But that's not aligned. Your pricing and perception have to be aligned. So step number three, elevate your branding and marketing. High quality visuals, testimonials, and polished content. And here's another real life example with my website. So I was out rocking and rolling with the low budget website that I created for myself on WordPress initially. And I was talking to a consultant that was actually a PR consultant that was going to help me get more advertisers on the show. And what she told me was, she said, your content is great. She said, but your front end, what you look like on the website, not me personally, but what the website looked like didn't align with the content that I had. I have great content, but the website wasn't aligned. It wasn't polished. It didn't look good. It didn't convey the imaging that I needed. So I had to invest the money and upgrade my website. So, and we're talking right now how to pivot your target market. Step one was understand your ideal client profile. They're usually affluent. If you're trying to change to that market, time conscious and results driven. Step two, refine your messaging to emphasize convenience and expertise. I just gave you the example. Say save 10 hours a week instead of affordable pricing. Step number three, elevate your branding and marketing. High quality visuals, testimonials, and polished content. And step number four, offer premium services or packages tailored to affluent clients. Offer premium services or packages tailored to affluent clients. So you can do a done for you type of service. You can have a DIY, do it yourself. You can have I'll help you do it. And then you can have a done for you service, depending upon what you're selling, what your product or service is. But you want to offer a premium service or package tailored to that market. And I'm telling you right now, guys, it's easier to manage and sell, and I'll just use this number, arbitrarily, a $2,000 package versus a $200 package. And here's another real life example of my mortgage business. It is easier for me to do a $1 million loan than a $100,000 loan. And the reason being is that most people that are buying multi-million dollar houses have all of their stuff in order. So their taxes are done. They have a CPA that does their taxes. They have all their documentation in order. And so it's easier because they're quote unquote more affluent. And that's not a knock on anybody. They're just at a different financial level. And in order to get to those levels, there's certain things that you have to do and need to do to stay at those levels. So when I ask somebody for their last 2 years tax returns that's buying $1 million property, 99% of the time they have. When I ask for their assets, bank statements, they have all of that stuff ready. Now, on other people, like if you're buying, and I'm not knocking that because trust me, my first house I bought was $125,000. But if you're buying a $100,000 house, you may not have your taxes all together. You might have your receipts in a shoebox or whatever, but it's a difference. It's a difference on who you're trying to connect with. So offer premium services or packages tailored to affluent clients. And many times you will find that affluent client is easier to deal with once you get them than somebody that is not. Also, another benefit, as we talked about, if I did $100,000 mortgage loans, that only equals to $1 million loan. So I'm dealing with 10 people, 10 personalities, 10 different deals versus the $1 million deal. And I'm making the same amount of money. Probably I'm making more money on the $1 million deal versus the $100,000 deals. So that's just the way it works. So what we're talking about today, guys, is unlocking profits by pivoting to clients who value time over money. We talked about how to pivot your target market. I just gave you 4 steps right there. Now let's talk about actionable tips to attract affluent clients. I'm going to give you several actionable tips to attract affluent clients. Tip number 1, network in spaces where affluent clients are. Could be LinkedIn, exclusive events, industry groups, sporting events, whatever. Network in spaces where affluent clients are. There's nothing better than shaking somebody's hand, meeting them face to face, looking eye to eye, and talking to them and introducing yourself. And that way, you're putting yourself in spaces where the affluent are. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, leverage social proof with testimonials from high value clients. So for example, in my mortgage business, because of some of the connections that I've had over the years, I do athletes and entertainers. Now, a lot of them don't like me to put their stuff on the website, and I don't. But if I need to drop a name or something like that, or give a referral or a testimonial, I was like, hey, I've done loans for A, B, C, and D. So leverage social proof with testimonials from high value clients. Tip number 3, use targeted ads emphasizing results and convenience. Use targeted ads emphasizing results and convenience. Remember, These affluent clients, they don't care about the money. They're more time sensitive. We're talking about time versus money value proposition. So they're more concerned about their time than they are spending money. They pay for convenience. Tip number 4, streamline your offering to focus on premium services and products. So once again, in my mortgage business, I don't turn down first-time home buyers because to me that's so enjoyable for me to help people buy their first home. It could be $100,000 home, $200,000 home or whatever. I just don't focus on the $1 million homes. So I do focus on other things because I love being able to help people get into their first house. But tip number 4 is streamline your offerings to focus on premium services and products. So I'm blessed to have the luxury to do that. But if I was starting out, I would focus on higher end homes just because you can do less work and make just as much or even more money probably. Okay. So those are some of the tips, guys, that can help you attract affluent clients. So you may need to pivot in your business to unlock additional profits. Now, before I get to the last segment of the show, let me just share all my social media contact information and resource links real quick. Everything I'm about to tell you is on the website, blackentrepreneurBlueprint.com. If you're lazy, go to bebconnect.com, which will take you right to the website. I mentioned at the top of the show, guys, my 5-day leadgen.com program is an email course, which is a 5-day email course. You'll get an email once a day for 5 days in a row to help you build a simple and successful lead generation program. Now, no leads equals no sales equals no business. If you do not have a lead generation system in your business right now, I can guarantee you that you're struggling or you're about to go out of business. Every top business knows, or every top business owner and business knows that you have to have a systematic lead generation system that's going to provide you leads, qualified leads, not garbage leads, 24/7, 365. You got to have that in your repertoire. I'm telling you, the first 3 systems that any business owner needs is a lead generation system, a referral system, and a fulfillment system. But none of that matters if you don't have a lead generation system. So go to 5dayleadgen.com for more information. The number 5, DAYLEADGEN.com. Now, if you want to connect with me for anything long, family, hit me on my email, jjones@blackentrepreneurBlueprint.com, JAYJONES@blackentrepreneurBlueprint.com. Facebook, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Instagram, I have 2 IG accounts. The first one is J Jones for Real, JAYJONES, the number 4, REAL. Second one is Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. LinkedIn, connect with me there. Type in J Jones Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. You can connect and find me there. Twitter or X, whatever you call it now, just use J Jones 001, JAYJONES 001. And YouTube, go to YouTube, type in J Jones Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, hit that subscribe button. We have additional content on YouTube that is not on the show. So remember, all first-time listeners, make sure you hit the subscribe button wherever you're listening to this or watching this. And we drop every Monday morning, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with new heat from Black Entrepreneur Blueprint and J Jones. Now, let's get back to the last segment of the show, and we're going to close it up. So this simple pivot we've been talking about on today's show can be the difference between you going out of business or scaling your business like crazy. Remember, when you deal with your clients or customers, the conversation for each one of your verticals or types of customers has to be different. The reason why certain companies excel is because they don't have just one message for every type of customer, as I gave you in the example of the insoles. The same product, but the verbiage and the conversation is totally different. So if you want to change the conversation to attract affluent customers that are more intent or who value time over money, this is what you have to do. I'm not saying don't sell to your other customers, but what I'm saying is if you want to get those affluent customers that buy convenience, my kids laugh all the time because I used to say it since they were little. Hey, I pay for convenience. I don't mind paying for convenience. It's just like washing your car yourself or taking it over to the car wash and getting it washed in detail. You can do it yourself, but do you want to spend your time doing that? And that's what affluent customers look for. They don't care about the dollars. And I'm not saying they're just going to buy anything, but they're more concerned about their time because they know time is something that they can't get back. It's just like you as an entrepreneur. Some people say, oh, yeah, I'm working 10 hours a day, and 7 of those 10 hours, they're doing busy work, stuff that doesn't move the needle. You guys have to value and recognize how much your time is worth. Focus on the things that are going to move the needle, be it sales or whatever it is. But if you're over there doing menial work, filing, putting stuff in the filing cabinet, and you call that work, that's not really meaningful work for you, because you need to be working on a higher level as an entrepreneur and owner of the business. So you may be a solopreneur or you may have employees. It doesn't matter. You need to work on high value things that will move the needle. If you're a solopreneur and you got to make sales, guess what? The priority it's making sales. Now you have to put systems in place that are going to allow you to make those sales. That's why a sales system is imperative. But remember, whoever your target market is, and hopefully when you listen to this, you'll start to try to target and pivot your business to start dealing with people that value time over money. And remember what this is today, guys. It's the time versus money value proposition. People that don't have resources on hand may have to spend the time to get things done, like me in my website. When I first started, I didn't have a lot of cash on hand, so I had to put together, a BS website just to have it up. And when my PR person said, hey, man, this thing isn't aligned. You got great content, but your website looks like crap. And so I'm like, all right, let's go ahead and do this. And so I invested the money to get a top-notch website that has all of my content on it. And it's my whole ecosystem, my online courses, my books, everything, the free resources to help you elevate your entrepreneur IQ. And the last thing that I want to touch on real quick is some of you out here may think that you're not qualified to deal with high-end clients or customers. And that's something that has to be internal. You have to believe that your product or service or whatever you're selling is suitable for that marketplace. Once again, everything has to be aligned. Your perception of your product or service has to be in alignment with your pricing. When your perception and pricing are not aligned, guess what? You don't make sales. So here's an example. If I was selling a Timex watch for $5,000, would people buy the watch? And the answer is no, because the pricing and the perceived value are off. They're not aligned. But if I told you that I was going to sell you this Rolex for $5,000, guess what? People would be like, okay, that's a lower end Rolex, but I can understand that. The pricing and the perceived value are in alignment. So when you're looking to go after high value clients, people that value time over money, everything must be aligned. Your perceived value of your product or service has to match or exceed the pricing. Because if it doesn't, guys, you won't make sales. Hope you guys enjoyed today's content. Make sure you go to the website and get the show notes. If you weren't able to write any of this stuff down, just go to blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. You'll see episode number 551. And usually the last couple of episodes are on the front page of the website. Click on that. You'll actually have all the show notes there on the episode. Now, before we close it on out, guys, I say this each and every week because it's true. We get more and more downloads because of you, the BEB family. I appreciate you guys so much. Please continue to spread the word about the podcast. the ecosystem, the books, the online courses, everything developed and designed to help you elevate your entrepreneur IQ. Remember, it's not about me, it's not about you, it's about us. It's about building an economic power base in the worldwide Black community by building and supporting Black-owned businesses. Love you guys. See you same time next week. Peace.